what is dream? And then let's go
Okay.
deeper.
Okay, so one thing we got to understand that we are a spirit first, and we
Hmm.
have a soul, and then we have a body.
Yeah,
So our body is our vessel that we use every day. Okay.
yeah.
And that's this physical body right here. So our thoughts are usually our soul. Our soul, you can hear your thoughts, right? You can dream up something, can think up something. That's not necessarily in the physical. That's in the spiritual. That's in on a different plane, right? So when we're talking about spiritual things, that's another aspect. When we go to sleep, we our body goes to sleep, but our soul does not. It stays awake.
Welcome back, guys, to our channel. And today we are going to discuss about dreams and what is the real meaning of the dreams that you have seen in your like day or night or something. Like we are going very deep into dream into this session, and we are also going to talk about like mindfulness, spirituality. So make sure to watch this podcast till the end, and this will go very deeper. So make sure don't skip this podcast, like your finger will go something like this. Don't do that. Just watch this podcast till the end, because this will blow your mind. We are going to go very deep into, like, I have a lot of questions, I have a lot of things to discuss, because today we have a very special guest with us. Today we have Luis with us. So Luis, how are you doing? How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. My day is going good. And today I have a lot of questions. I want to ask you a lot of things. So, guys, like it will be a banger thing. So make sure to watch this. So yeah, Luis, let us get started with this with the full energy, and I'm very excited. So, like, let us get first of all, let's talk about yourself. Well, like, first of all, I want you to like introduce to the audience so that they can know who you are, and then we can talk about other things.
All right. Okay, so my name's Louise Lopez, and I am a spiritual alignment coach. And I work with those who are spiritually sensitive, who want a deeper understanding of the supernatural for greater levels of power and freedom in their life. So that can look like a little child having night terrors, or an adult, or someone having symptoms of mental health. So I help them to understand those things that they are feeling, and what they're experiencing, so that they can live a normal life. And as our host said, that today we're going to be talking about dreams. And so that's the beginning stages of understanding the spiritual realm.
100%. Amazing. Amazing. So,
Mhm.
Luis, let us start with your like journey, because like this is a very thing that is very important. Yeah, we should talk about
Mhm.
that. So, Luis, how do you came to this coaching industry? Uh, do you have this dream from the childhood, or how do you came to this industry?
Okay, so um, I'm originally from Trinidad. So it's an island off the coast of Venezuela. And so we were brought here when I was 5. But before then, I was seeing things. I was seeing things that my parents couldn't see. And then I was also dreaming a lot of dreams. And so as
You can
we're
see things that other people cannot see. What was
right,
that?
I would see I would see a specific man watching us, and I would point to him, and my mom wouldn't see anything. So it was funny because me and my little sister, the one after me, we both saw the same thing.
Your sister saw the
So
same thing.
yeah, she saw the same thing, and she's like 4 years younger than me.
So there was a guy who was pointing towards something.
No, he was watching us. He was always watching us.
So
And
you
I
have
would
seen that
tell
multiple
my
times?
mom, what was that?
You have seen that multiple times or just
Yes.
once?
Multiple times when I was little, as
Huh?
young as 3, 4 years old. Yes.
So do you
Hmm.
recognize the face or something? Do you
I
can you
recognize
imagine
the
that right now?
silhouette. I recognized the silhouette. He was a tall man wearing a trench coat with a black hat. And the face is not like sharp, like you can see sharpness in his face, like his features, but is more hidden in a shadow like.
Oh.
So I did not know she saw the same thing I did till we were older. So
Mm.
so my experience of seeing and pointing to this person and my mom not seeing it created a lot of confusion because I'm like, he's standing right there,
So
and I would call him the ugly one.
so are
And
you
my mom was like,
scared?
you
Like
just talked about the
how was the
ugly one.
moment?
What was that?
Like you were really like, are you scared of that, or like you were just
Not,
like, how
I
was
don't,
the experience? How was the feeling?
okay, so when you're little, you're still learning. So
Yeah.
it's like not a creepy feeling, but almost creepy because you can't describe it as creepy. You can only describe it as, why is this man staring at us? Why is he always there? Why is he always looking at us? You just want an answer to the question that your parent can't tell you. You know, this man is always either in our room, on the road, wherever we go, he's watching us. Right. So for my sister, he was in the room and she was scared to pass him to go to the bathroom. So she ended up wetting the bed for a long period of time because my mom didn't understand that this thing was real to us. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for us, we saw spiritual things a lot of times. We dreamt a lot of things. We experienced a lot of things that my parents did not understand from a very young age. Mhm.
Mm. And right
Yes.
now, at this moment, do you know who that guy was? Like, what was that?
No, I tend to think it was a generational thing. So sometimes things are passed down through your generation. And when those entities or spirits are passed down, they tend to either watch over you or do certain things in your life. Because it wasn't, I wouldn't call it a friendly spirit. It was more, I don't know, it's weird. It's just very, very odd that this thing is just watching you all the time, right? And not saying anything, not doing anything, but just staring at you. So both me and her experienced that acknowledgement that this man is just watching us all the time.
And
But
like,
it went
what
away.
was your age that time?
My age was probably anywhere from 3 to 7.
Okay. And like, for how many years like this happens, and like from how long?
She also grew out of seeing him too. So I think for her, about the same age, about maybe 4 years, we saw him. Mhm.
Like 4 years, like you were looking at that person was like watching you, or somebody else is watching you, and then what
Mhm.
happens? Like suddenly that disappeared.
Yeah, it disappeared. We didn't see him anymore. Mhm.
And then you like think that there is something that I'm different from others, and then you try to go into spirituality more.
No, at a young age, you don't know that that's different. You
Right.
only know that your parent can't see it,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And when you try to explain it to her, she's not comprehending. So my sister deduced from my experience that, oh, I can't tell mommy what I see either because she's not listening to my older sister. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. So we both
Hmm.
grew up dealing with these things alone, on our own, trying to figure it out. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, to a certain point, we're just like, okay, we're just seeing things and whatnot. And then at a certain point, I blocked it. I don't know how I did it, but at some point I blocked it. So I didn't get it for years. And then it came back again. So same thing with her. She blocked a lot of it. And then it increased around teenage years. Yeah, we got it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Louis, like you told us that it was a different experience that you have in your childhood, and that was the thing that helps you to like go more deeper, understand more about this thing, and now you are coaching people about that. So like,
Mhm.
so have you like done any type of like coaching, or how do you learn about these things?
Okay, so dreams is like the very first thing that people need to know. So dreams, we tend to think that dreams are not important, but they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we dream, it tells us about what's happening in our life, whether people call it a pizza dream where you fall asleep eating pizza and then you have this crazy dream, right? That's not necessarily what's happening.
Just
Or
one
if you're,
second. I would
Mhm,
love to clarify that as a human being, we have
mhm,
thousands and thousands of thoughts that are going on in our mind. So,
mhm,
what exactly is dreams? Like, how dream is different from other thoughts? Because we have a lot of things that are going on in our mind. So, let's
right.
clarify the dream. Like, what is dream? And then let's go
Okay.
deeper.
Okay, so one thing we got to understand that we are a spirit first, and
Hmm.
we have a soul, and then we have a body.
Yeah.
So our body is our vessel that we use every day. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's this physical body right here. So our thoughts are usually our soul. Our soul, you can hear your thoughts, right? You can dream up something, you can think up something. That's not necessarily in the physical, that's in the spiritual, that's in on a different plane, right? So when we're talking about spiritual things, that's another aspect. When we go to sleep, we our body goes to sleep, but our spirit does not. It stays awake.
Hmm.
Okay. Our soul and our spirit generally is staying awake. And so when we have lots of thoughts, they may be running through our mind while we go to sleep. That means you're worried. Okay. So if
Right.
you're having dreams about something in particular
Hmm.
that is on your mind too much, it's going to do that. It's going to reiterate, it's going to try to kind of, like we would say, manifest our fears in the
Yeah.
dream, right? Then there is those dreams or those thoughts or those visions, which is like an open eye dream where God is speaking to you. Okay. So those are the three different areas. There's the natural physical, then there's the soul, and then there's the spirit. The spirit and the soul basically stay awake. And to understand that our thoughts are in the soul realm, the spiritual realm, that's an understanding of how you can understand what's going on, because you can think up something, you can visionary something, visualize something, and that's not necessarily something physical. It's in your mind. You can see it in your mind. You can have a whole conversation in your mind. All these things. It's on a different plane than using your mouth, right? So that is how to understand the three different planes. But when we dream, it comes about as what's going on in your life. It's always giving you information about your life, whether you're worried about something or whether God is trying to speak to you. Some people believe that dreams are not important. Why I say that they're important is because they're telling you something. They're always
Hmm.
going to tell you something. So for instance, I know someone who always has like falling dreams. You're always falling, they're always falling in a
Yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
Yes, things of that sort. Those are very scary dreams, right? So that means that there's something that's going on in your life that needs to be dealt with. It could be from generational. And like I mentioned, the guy, I think that's something generational. That's something passed down from other generations. So when you understand that there is another plane that people cannot see, sometimes you see it when you sleep, because your body is connected to your mind and your mind's connected to the spirit realm. So when you're dreaming and you're imagining falling, that means the ground is being pulled out from under you. That means something is being stolen from your life. You are falling because something is stealing from you. Something is pulling away that which is yours, right? So different symbolic things. If you're seeing snakes in your dream, it usually represents witchcraft. Someone's trying to put witchcraft on you. Okay.
Mm.
So when you're looking, or dogs, if you're seeing dogs in your dream, think of just different things. You go and look up the characteristic of that animal. If you are seeing animals in your dream, look at the characteristics. What is the characteristic of that animal? Will let you know what's happening in your dream. If you're dreaming that someone's always stealing from you, that means um someone is trying to steal from you. So you don't give away that which is yours in your dream, because there is a plot and a scheme to steal from you. Okay.
Mm.
One thing that everybody needs to know, eating in your dreams is completely bad. Do not
Bad.
eat in your dreams. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So eating and drinking in your dreams is not good. It's
What
usually a
what
form
is
of,
present?
what was that?
Like eating in the dream. Like what was that? Like what is this represent?
Okay, so uses witches, usually witches or warlocks may use that. So they like to use things that you enjoy. So eating is
Mm.
usually an enjoyment for any human being, right? So they're
Mm.
going to use like their favorite dishes and things of that sort. So in the dream, there's plenty of movies that represent this. You will see that the plate in front of you looks delightful, right? But in reality, it's an illusion, and it's going to be something completely gross and disgusting that you would normally eat, right?
Right.
And this is really to harm you. So when you're eating it in the dream, because it is spiritual, the spiritual realm is just as real as the physical realm. And
Mm.
people don't understand this. So if you do something in the spirit in your dream, it manifests in the natural. Okay. So I'm going to give
Mm.
you an example. I've taught my children this: do not eat or drink in your dreams. So my daughter woke up one morning, and sometimes you forget your dream, but you feel odd or you feel weird
Right.
or
Right. Right.
strange, like something happened, right? And so my daughter woke up. She's like, my tummy hurts. And I said, okay, so what did you dream? She said, I don't remember. I
Mm.
said, oh, okay. So you don't remember. So we're Christians, we're believers. So we always pray and ask the Lord, if it's important, please bring it back to our remembrance, right? And then she remembered, oh, I ate a whole bunch of cereal, my favorite cereal, in my dream. I said, who gave it to you? She said, I don't know. They didn't have a face. And I said,
Mm.
okay, now we know that someone tried to feed you something in your dream. So then what we did is we prayed. So we say a prayer, and we ask the Lord to take out that which she ate, and to cleanse her body, from the effects of whatever she ate. And we canceled whatever assignment they had towards her life to defile it in any type of way.
Mm.
And then as soon as we did that, her stomach was fine. So
Mm.
that's an example of understanding your dreams are trying to tell you something. It's going to warn you about something. It's going to teach you something. It's going to tell you that something needs to be taken care of. All these little things, your dreams are important for telling you about. So even that pizza dream that people talk about, oh, I saw this weird thing, blah, 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 blah. There's something about that dream that you need to be aware of. Even though it's odd or seems crazy to you, there is something about it. So researching is very good. I always come from a biblical perspective or a Christian perspective, so I take it from that. But just having an understanding of the details of the dream. Colors are very important in a dream.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
colors are important. What someone's wearing is important. The
Mm.
sounds that you hear in your dream is very important. Words that are being used in your dream is important. So every detail of a dream, if you can write it down or record it, is very good. Because then as the day goes along, you keep meditating. And when I say meditate, keep thinking about that dream. And I ask the Lord, what does this dream mean? Over and over again, thinking about it. And then sometimes more and more just becomes revealed. If not, I just keep it in the journal. And then maybe another time more is added to that dream, especially repetitive dreams. Repetitive dreams are like you have them more than one or more than one time. But
Mm.
definitely if you have it 3 times, it's an important dream. God is trying to tell you something. You need to be aware of something that you need to take care of. If you don't, it could lead to disaster down the road. Mhm.
So, like, we should take our dreams very seriously rather than
Yes.
just
Mhm.
forgetting it or something like that. Like,
Yes.
do you believe in that? Like, sometimes what happens is, like, from the childhood itself, you see a same dreams multiple times. So, do you think
Yes.
it is connected with your past life or something?
Um, Past lives are because I have a different understanding of something else, and I think people get that confused with past lives. So I have a different perspective. That is a whole other rabbit trail. Okay. So I don't personally, I don't believe it's a past life. I believe it's something else that's going on that you're connected to. It's like a connection of someone else's life, not your own life.
Hmm.
So that's what I personally believe.
Believe.
But yes, if you are seeing something or you're experiencing it from that other person's point of view, you are connected in somehow to that. Okay. Um, but that's to each his own. Do you believe in past lives, or do you believe that there's something else going on? So just
Makes sense.
completely depends on you. But I would not say, I would not dismiss what someone sees in their
Yeah,
dream or is experiencing from a first person point of view. That is not necessarily you,
makes
because
sense.
you can experience things. I've had dreams where I'm in the future and I'm seeing the future from someone's point of view, but I'm not necessarily them. I'm just experiencing it from their point of view, just
Mm.
because God wants to show me something to be aware of. So sometimes we're seeing it from a perspective to give us understanding about something. So we as humans, we just kind of trying to understand what we're seeing or what we're experiencing. So we correlate it with this, that, or the other. But in reality, I think a lot of it is teaching you something or wanting you to see something for yourself because it's important for you, the person.
Totally makes sense. As you were
Mhm.
talking about the dreams and towards like about like whatever people see in their dreams, I
Mhm.
like just remember a dream that I saw, and when I was a child, like not right now, like right now, this kind of dreams doesn't come to me.
Mhm.
But when I
Uh-huh.
was a child, there was a dream that there is a big pyramid, like the pyramid of
Mhm.
Egypt's, and there is
Yes.
a
Mhm.
window of that pyramid, and me
Mhm.
and my father is stuck there, like there is no one to help us
Oh.
or nothing else. It's a pyramid
Mhm.
like this, and there
Mhm.
is a small window, and me and my father is just stuck there and not able to like go here and there. And this is a dream that I have seen multiple times, but
Wow.
when I was a child, like it was when I was like in fifth or like 5 6 years old, something like that.
Mhm.
So, do you think what is this? Like, what do you think? Like, do you think
Okay.
this?
So
Uh,
what comes to me
yeah,
as
yeah,
you say that, pyramid is in, you're talking about the one in Egypt, correct?
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
it
Okay.
was of
There's different
yeah.
pyramids in different areas, right? So Egypt, the pyramid that's in Egypt, that means you are connected somehow to Egypt. Okay. So if you look back in your ancestry, that could be hundreds of years. We don't know how much. You're connected somehow to Egypt. And whatever those pyramids represent, um, you're connected somehow. So your ancestors either have a contract, an agreement with those deities in Egypt that has now you're seeing it. You're seeing
Mm,
that you have a trail that goes all the way back to Egypt. And whatever that may be, whether a deity, a god, whatever they served back then, you're seeing it for yourself. You and your father, well, you're seeing your father. Your father represents ancestors, right? He is above you. So he's the ancestor of that. And you're there with him. So I would ask the Lord, if you you know the Lord, what are you trying to tell me about this past? What's going on in the past in my life? Why do I need to know this? Why is this important
mm,
to my life? Is there a blockage because I have connections to Egypt and what they did back then, because sometimes the things that we experience has to do with our ancestors. Did they make agreements and contracts with different deities and gods back then? Because they did a lot of that back then. So everyone in this world has some type of attachment to some deity or some god that our ancestors made agreements with. And if he's showing you that, he's saying, okay, you need to take care of this because it might be blocking you from this, that, or the other. That's what
Hmm.
I would. Mhm.
Yeah, amazing. And yeah, like this is very important and this is very unique. Like I haven't done this type of podcast till now, so even I'm very
Right.
curious to know about all those things. Sometimes what
Mhm.
happens is like I don't know why, like this is happening from last 3 4 years. There is a thought that comes up inside me. Do you believe in
Mhm.
astrology? Have you ever, like, do you believe in that?
Say again?
Astrology.
Astrology,
Yeah.
meaning the stars in
Yeah.
the sky.
Do you believe in
Okay.
that?
So, when you say believe in it, I do not follow signs. I do not
Yeah.
follow things of that sort. But I do know that God put the stars in the sky for times and seasons. So I believe He put it there for a specific reason. I do not personally follow it, but I do know that there's a reason, there's specific reasons for it. I don't follow those things because I feel like I can just go to God for myself and say, hey, what's going on? Is there something I need to be aware of? If there's like a blood moon or something like that, or certain things that are happening in the world that has to do with the sky, I say, okay, do I need to be aware of this? Is there something that I need to pay attention to that is very important to me, my family, whatever. um you're talking about this, that means I'm guessing that that's what you want to know about. Is it true? Is astrology true?
Yeah, I
Like,
just want to
just
talk
for
about
life.
that. Like, there is a story. Let me tell you that from
Okay.
last 2 3 years, like there is
Mhm,
deep inside, I have a thought that like God or somebody like the higher entities is telling me
mhm,
that you have to create a temple. Like, do you know the temple? Like we as a Hindu, we go
mhm,
as you go to the church for the prayers, we go to the
mhm.
temples. It's
Right.
like a like Hindu like holy place. It's
Mhm,
temple. So like from deep inside, from last 2 3 years, I have just this thought is popping up in my mind that Chetan, you have to build a temple. Chetan, you have to build a temple. So this is
mhm,
just a thought that is popping up. And once I was just communicating with my mother about this thought, and she
mhm.
told me that when I was a child, a person who is an astrologer, he
Uh-huh.
already have written in a paper that this child is going to build a temple in his life. I don't know
Mhm,
how. It can be something like a small donation or something
mhm,
like anything, but
mhm,
from his hand, there will be a holy place that is going to be built. So I was like
mhm.
shocked that what is this? Like from my entire life, I haven't think about this thought. I haven't
Mhm,
feel that. But suddenly, like I was in a prayer, and there was goosebumps in my like body, and
mhm.
that thought popped up in my mind. And that is going on from last 3 years again and again and again. But I don't know that
Okay.
why this is coming up, who is telling me this all those things. But when I talked
Mhm.
to my mother and she told me that somebody has already written that in a paper, I was
Uh-huh.
like shocked that what it is. So what do you think about
Okay.
this? Like, oh my
Okay.
god.
So we have to be careful as human beings, okay? Because there are other beings and there's the holy God, right? So there are two sides, light and darkness, right? And we understand light is good, all things good, and darkness is all things bad, right? And so I'm guessing this person, we call it prophesying to the person, telling them what's going to happen in their life, right?
Yeah,
It's a foretelling. But
that
we've
person was
also
a astrologer, like who written that.
astrologer. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why, okay, so I'm going to tell you, astrology is not always right. So
Mm.
when it's not always right, I feel like it's guessing, right?
Hmm.
So this person being an astrologer and believing in um you govern your life by the stars, I don't believe in governing your life by the stars. Okay. So they'll say like most of them go by your birth date, correct?
Yeah.
They go by your
Birth
birth
date and
date.
time and stuff.
Yes, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. But this is my question. What if what we understand of astrology is wrong? So that means you're telling everybody something wrong.
Hmm.
Because what I've learned is a lot of things that we thought were right or true, especially with history, has been changed
Right.
or put off or different, such as in our time zones, right? There didn't used to be time zones. There used to be everybody went by just the sun, everything else. But just recently, we went back in time on Sunday. We took away an hour from our time, but that wasn't a thing before, right? So there's a
Hmm.
lot of changes that happen and go on. So when you govern your life by a particular thing in the sky and all that stuff, my question is, what if our understanding of that is completely wrong, and then you go telling everybody you're this, that, and the other, but
Yeah.
you're off, you're
Hmm.
completely off.
Makes
So
sense.
I can't go by that.
Hmm.
This person could be sent in your life to distract you. Okay.
Hmm.
They can be sent in your life to deter you from what you're actually called to do. And then when you're having these thoughts, remember there are heavenly beings and there are evil beings. Okay. So, for instance, I'm going to give you an example of my husband. Okay. Every, I don't know if it's every child, but in his lineage, they saw when they were young too, just like I did. But when they turn 13 or 14, they see visions. That's generational. That is not something that everybody does, right? Not everybody wakes up at 13, 14, say, I can see visions now, right?
Visions?
So
What type of visions?
visions is when it's like a dream, but you're seeing it while you're awake. It looks like a TV screen, maybe, and you're seeing something being played out in front of your eyes,
Hmm.
right? So sometimes you have visions. Dreams are actually called visions of the night.
Hmm.
You just have them while you're asleep instead of you're awake. That's what
Right.
they're called. So when we're talking about having why I brought this up was because it's a generational thing that is happening to him and his ancestors, cousins, things of that sort. They start to see at a certain age. It is like clockwork for them, right? No one
Hmm.
has to say, what month were you born, when, all those things. They don't do all that stuff. But on that side, it's open, that open doorway for them didn't necessarily come from God. It has been exploited through his generational bloodline to say, okay, you've done this for me, so therefore your generational line will be able to do these things. They'll be able to see in the spirit. They will be able to have visions at this age. These things will happen at this age. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
So when someone is coming to you, you have to be very careful to guard your heart and your mind. I don't know the intention of that person. It all boils down to their intention. What is their
Uh,
intention for you?
like the thing is that the person who came to my life, like
Mhm.
it was very earlier. Like I don't know about the
Yes.
things that the person told my mother. I don't know about
Mhm.
all those things. I don't know
Mhm.
that the person have already predicted that this guy is going to do that. But
Mhm.
suddenly from last 2 3 years I'm having the thoughts in my mind. So nobody has
Yeah.
told me these things. This is
Right.
popping up from my inside.
Right. That's why I was talking about the spiritual things that happen on the outside. So why I brought that up was because all of this is happening from a spiritual perspective. This deity is allowing them to see and to hear all these things. So because this person spoke this over You when you were little? When you were little?
Not me, my mother. The
Oh, told
person
your
told
mom.
my mother, like not me.
Yeah.
I don't know about all those things. Suddenly, this thoughts comes to
Okay.
my mind from last 2 3 years.
Okay. She's telling your mother about you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That this is going to happen to you. Now, she didn't give an age, correct? Okay. She just said this to you. Now, if this woman is dealing with any type of deities, they're going to put those type of things into your thought process, into your mind.
mm,
Remember, we hear without hearing.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying. We can
yeah,
think
yeah. I
and
can
we hear
understand.
in that. So that's why I would be very careful. I know we want to follow our intuition, but I would be like, okay, is this proper? Is this right? Because you said you didn't have any inkling of this until recently.
Yeah,
And if this is something that you are meant to do, your steps will be ordered to do it. But
yeah,
if there's something wrong about it, you need to ask God, the highest God, you
yeah,
know, is this what you want me to do? Because when you go out of what you're supposed to be doing, so when you said temple, I was like, this is kind of like a temple. You're building something.
yeah.
Your podcast is building something, right?
Mm,
It's building something that will reach many people.
right.
But then when you said physically building a temple, I was like, oh, that's just very different. That's completely different from just building something that will reach many people
Like, yeah.
versus,
But I
yeah,
think this is a
the flower.
positive thought, and I think that
Mhm,
like uh I am going to like build a small temple or a small place where people can go
mhm,
and pray to the god or something. So
mhm,
like I think this is a like positive thoughts and something that is coming from the god towards me. So I
mhm,
should do that. So
mhm. Well, all I'm saying is be very prayerful, be very cautious. Anytime you do anything that brings people in. Like what you're doing right now, you're talking about different things. I think that's a wonderful thing to bring to the world, right?
yeah,
So when anytime you're dealing with other people, you want to make sure that they're good, that you're doing things, your intentions are good for the people, instead of, any old thing. Just make sure
makes
that
sense. Yeah,
yes.
makes
Mhm.
sense. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Like, yeah, I totally believe in that, and I totally understand the things that you told us today, and it
Mhm.
was amazing. So, just give us a last thing, like a last advice for the viewers who are watching this podcast.
Okay.
Like me, the viewers have lot of thoughts, lot of ideas, and lot of dreams that they have into their mind. As you told us that sometimes there are some positive dreams and sometimes
Mhm.
there are some negative dreams. So how
Mhm.
to identify that what we should do and what we should not do?
Okay. So, when you have any dream, I suggest that you write it down or speak into a recorder or something. Just have
Yeah,
some way to record it.
yeah,
How to identify if something is good or bad? I believe anytime you experience anything, and some people will disagree, but even if you're experiencing something bad, it's going to tell you something. It's going to warn you. That's really like a warning dream, right?
mm,
It's going to tell you that something is very wrong.
right,
Something is, if you're being tormented in your dream, if something's hurting you in your dream, there's something wrong. That means something needs to be dealt with in your life, whether it's an open door. And when I say open door, I mean it allows evil things to come through.
mm,
Okay. So things that can allow evil things to come through, these are just testimonies of other people. They've watched a horror movie and ever since they just have night terrors. Okay. They did drugs and ever since they've been tormented by demonic spirits.
mm,
They're an alcoholic and their eyes are open up to just spiritual things all the time, only negative spiritual things. Okay. These are all gateway things that opens up to the negative side of things. um so for my family, we tend to see mainly angels rather than the demonic. parts of things, right?
Hmm.
So the doorway that you go through or the doorway that you open up is very important. So you need to be able to acknowledge those things.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be like, hey, I'm experiencing these things. I need help to get these things out of my life,
Hmm.
because it's telling you something. Good things. Now, we just discussed about eating in our dreams. We would think that's good, right?
Yeah.
But it's a deceptive way of getting things into you that don't belong inside of you. So,
Right.
especially if you wake up feeling achy or sick or something like that, always think about, what did I dream? Okay. Something good could be um just God showing you just different things for your family, for your friends, how you're going to do something. You might get just information about your business, information about your family that leads to just more things, more
Yeah.
good things, you
Yeah.
know?
Makes sense. Hmm.
Yeah. And then spiritually, you understand that your soul, your thinking, your thoughts, those are spiritual things. So it's not a scary thing, you know? It's not a scary thing. Everybody has emotions, everybody has thoughts. These are all in the spiritual realm. It's not actually physical. Like someone says, my heart is broken. Your heart is not literally broken, it's emotionally broken, right? So
Right.
those are things you can't tangibly touch, but they actually affect you. So
Hmm.
the spiritual and dreams are very important for us to get a better understanding of, just by searching it out for yourself. Like I said, if there's animals in your dream, go and check out, what does this animal represent? What does it
Makes
stand
sense.
for? Why
Hmm.
is it in my dream? Is it aggressive in my dream, or is it loving in my dream?
Hmm.
Um, your parents are usually, if you're dreaming about your parents, it's usually going to represent God, because it's the person that teaches you. So it's usually
Yeah.
going to
Yep.
represent God.
Hmm.
Your siblings usually represent people that you trust in your
Hmm.
family. Even if
Hmm.
you have a crazy family, because your family, it's going to represent, trust, that
Right.
closeness, right?
Hmm.
And then if there's any type of chaos in your dream, you know that there's something that needs to be dealt with. But if there's a
Hmm.
warmth and light feeling, usually dreams that are bright, like the colors are bright in your dream, they're usually good.
Good.
If your dream is dim
Hmm.
and black and white, it's usually bad. Those are usually
Hmm.
telltale signs. So even if you
Makes
think
sense.
you're doing something good in your dream, but you notice it's so dim and it looks
Hmm.
dull, there's
Yeah.
something off about it. They're trying
Hmm.
to get you to do something to get you comfortable, because whatever you're dealing with in your dream may be okay, but the colors are off.
Makes sense.
That's going to tell you something's very off about it. Okay.
Hmm.
So yes, um, your dreams are important. Spiritual stuff is important, and your emotions are important. Your emotions also attract evil or good.
Okay.
So we need to be aware of that. If we are angry, very angry, yes, it attracts a lot of demonic spirits. If we're very happy and joyful, it attracts the angels, the things that comfort us, love, peace, kindness, all of those things. So what we think about and what we act upon and what we say and what we do are very important to our environment around us, and it affects us in every type of way. So just be careful about
100%.
that. I know sometimes we
Yeah.
just take life for granted and we
Yeah.
do whatever we want, but
Right.
we forget that it affects us in any type of way. So just be
For sure.
cautionary about that and acknowledge that, hey, am I doing negative things or am I doing positive things?
True.
And then you can know what's happening. So for empaths, that's going to be a little bit harder. Empaths, they read a room. They know whether there's a demonic spirit or an angelic spirit in the atmosphere.
Hmm.
So they are very highly sensitive to what's in the atmosphere when they go into a place. So therefore, they have to recognize, what am I feeling right now before I step into this room, and not take on that actual atmospheric presence that's there. So an empath could be like walking in a room, all of a sudden become angry. Why? Because that angry presence is there. It's not actually their emotions, it's the emotions of what's in that atmosphere.
Makes
So
sense.
empaths have to be very careful. They have to acknowledge how they feel before they step into a room, and then know that that's not their feelings. Someone in this room is very angry.
Amazing. It was very deep, and like we got to know a lot of things from you. And thank you so very much for your time, for your
You're welcome.
like valuable content. This was seriously amazing. So, guys, if you want to connect with Luis, like just go to their social media or the website. I'm going to just link it down in the description. Just go
Mhm.
to her social media, go and just go and like give her a DM or like just drop a comment. We are definitely
Mhm.
going to respond to you. And if you have
Mhm.
any type of doubts or you want to have a consultation with her,
Mhm.
definitely go to her social media and talk to her. Louise, like I'm so happy today, and today we got to know a lot of things from you, so I'm very very
Mhm.
grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you soon.